Good morning. It's 9 a.m. and August 26, 2024 on a Monday. I do not have any redirect set up today because Harry Holzman has a members only show. And today I am going to be covering John Williams, John Downey, Steve McCure, Martin Hogg topics. This title may change occasionally during the show. I have a few things I'm going to try to do differently today. This is all part of trying to improve the way I do videos. So starting with John Williams. Now I know John
Live said I see it.
I know John Williams' issue is already resolved, but I have questions and comments. I think Ken was saying he saw the revised Martin Hogg addition to the title. So John Williams sent an email, and this was queued up for Saturday's show, and we didn't get to it on Saturday. I apologize for that, John Williams. I saw your comments last night on Ken Stout's show. His email to me said, I recently built a tower computer, but got a warning that the CPU is overheating after being off all night. I'm including a pic of the temps. Well, there's nothing wrong with these temperatures. What you didn't give me, John, was a picture of the warning message that you got. If you still have that, I'd very much like to see it. I'm suspecting, based upon the comments that you made on Ken Stout's show last night, that what you had going on is a message showing up at post time that either clearly stated that the CPU was overheating or said that a hint towards that, along with some other messages. The solution that John found to his problem was it was a dead CMOS battery. When he replaced the CMOS battery, he no longer had that problem. Now, Londog correctly questioned that and saying, how could a bad CMOS battery cause overheating? And I agree, no, it could not. However, could it give a message that was interpreted or, let's see, paraphrased or understood as CPU overheating? I suspect what was happening is that particular BIOS on that motherboard, when the BIOS battery was completely worn down and the computer had not been plugged in to power, it went back to the manufactured defaults, not the manufacturer defaults, but the manufactured defaults. Now, I don't know if that's really a thing, a distinction. But when that BIOS chip was manufactured, it would have certain settings. Now, the BIOS, as a BIOS gets updated, it would have different default settings. So I think what was happening is by the time that the CMOS had power, which is just from being plugged into the wall, was sufficient for that, and restart the computer, that it would reset the BIOS. But when you, to the BIOS updated defaults, but when you unplug it from power and that battery didn't have enough power to maintain power, then when the computer started up, maybe there was some issue about the temperature sensor that was giving you a false positive indicating that the CPU was overheating. But I'd very much like to see a picture of that. I suspect that whatever that particular BIOS gives you when it has a dead battery and it hasn't been plugged into power, it gives you probably more than one message. Most of the time, the ones that I've seen, either the date and time is wrong. Yes, you got to give me more than that. I've said way too many things for me to know what yes, affirmative is referring to. Give me a sentence. Thank you, Catherine Hauserman, for asking everybody to like the video. So the other things that it might have said, let's see, what are some other things that I've said? Heard or seen. Something about CMOS defaults, maybe no hard drive detected. There may be a number of things that could come up when the CMOS battery has not been providing power. Now, he explained on the Ken Stout live show in the chat room that that motherboard was new to him, but it had been given to him by a friend who said it had been sitting on a shelf for a couple of years. Assuming it was new on the shelf for a couple of years, depending upon where it was purchased from, the manufacturer of the motherboard, he didn't reveal what that is, but it may have been using a cheap CMOS battery. Now, I have purchased brand new CMOS batteries, ordered from Amazon, and found some of them dead right out of the package. I even found that the package actually was close to expiration or exceeded expiration. So for that reason, when I buy from Amazon, I make sure to buy from the actual manufacturer's Amazon store rather than a third party, because what will happen is a third party reseller will buy a batch of batteries from Eveready or whatever the other major names are. I think of those right now because I don't care. Buy a batch of those cheaply because they are close to expiration or not far enough from expiration that meet Eveready's requirements for what they would sell. So it's very possible to get a CMOS battery that you think is new and actually has already been on the shelf, because a battery will not retain its capability even if it has been sitting unused in the package for many years, because batteries just lose their capability over a period of time. So, John, if you have that picture of the messages you were actually getting, I would love to see that. If not, then that's okay. Congratulations on finding your solution. Now, the next topic, according to the current title, is John Downey. So now I'm going to go find, where do I have John Downey's subject matter? And I think it was a comment, a channel comment. Let's see here. Yes, indeed, that's where it is. So here's his comment from 12 hours ago. Let me zoom this up so it's easier to see, and then I'll give you a red bouncing ball. It says, I take two computers when I travel, M1 Mac Air and Dell Latitude 5410. Both have a USB-C port. I have found...
John Williams said, I did the BIOS update, and it started acting up after the BIOS update, so now the computer is working 100%. All good now.
Okay, you did a BIOS update. It started acting up after the BIOS update. That's really odd. Give me a yes or no, John Williams. Do you have a picture of the actual warning message that you had? And I'll kind of delay a little bit, hoping to hear from you. Actually, before I go into John Downey, I'm going to trigger a commercial. I'm also waiting for that response from John. I'm going to trigger a commercial because this is another thing new that I'm trying out instead of letting YouTube do it.
John Williams said no.
Okay, so he says no, he doesn't have a picture of that. Now, Baby Beast is showing me that a commercial is running right now. So my intention is to do other things as I'm waiting for this. So one thing I'm going to do is change the title now, because what we're going to do is change John Williams' portion of today's show to be regarding CMOS battery, because that's what we discussed for him. And eventually all of these names will be changed to the topic that we discussed. I'm looking over at Baby Beast to see if the commercial's done yet. It is not. Oh, there it is, Bat. Now we're back. John Downey. So anybody who saw the commercial, I intentionally did not cover topics during the commercial. You can rewind to go back to where I said that I was going to start the commercial. John Downey, I take two computers when I travel. Get this position better. M1 Mac Air and Dell Latitude 5410 both have a USB-C port. I have found a charging block I can use to charge both computers and my cell phone at the same time. My problem is my Dell only has one USB-C port. I use it to drive a portable monitor. The monitor has a USB-C port on it for both power and display. So that's USB-C coming in to provide power to the monitor and display. And I have one of those. The problem is I need a USB-C hub that can input power and output display over USB. So you might think, and he's already past this point, you might think that he's going to try to get power from the laptop to the USB hub, and with that provide power to the monitor, and also wants to charge the computer through that USB-C port. He's got a solution for that. I use it to drive a portable monitor. The monitor has USB-C. Well, move on. The problem is I need a USB-C hub that can input power and output display over USB-C. I think I already read that part too. I think I need this. And here he's got a link for the one, and I've got it on a tab prepared already. USB-C to USB-C hub dual monitor adapter with yada yada display parts. That's just the name of it. Now let's go show you his computer first. Here's what his laptop is, a Latitude 5410. On the right side, we see there's two USB Type A's, there's an HDMI, there's an Ethernet port, and there's a Kensington lock, there's a micro SD card, and I'm not sure what this, I can't think of what this one is. I think you put a little paper clip in there and that tray slides out. I can't think of what that is. Probably because I don't care. But if you tell me what that is, I would like to know that. And then this is still that same side. Here's the other side. There's place for a power adapter.
Ran Israel, he said, could be a SIM slot.
Oh, that's it exactly. That's a SIM slot. So that acts absolutely. That's absolutely recognizable as a SIM slot. This is where you could have a typical AC/DC power adapter barrel connector connected. And here's a USB Type-C that can be used to power the laptop instead of using the adapter. Let's see if I get this button. Yeah, I need to start using these arrows more. Okay, then here we have a Type A. Whoop, why isn't that doing this? Oh, I got to go back again. Oh, that's right. When I take off the arrows, I lose them. Okay, so that's what he has on this laptop, and we already looked at that side and that side again. Now, then this device that he's looking at is this 5-in-1 Type-C port expansion. And the thing that I went looking for, I just went clicking through these pictures. In order to do what he's wanting to accomplish, that hub is going to have a AC/DC power adapter. It's going to have to be getting power from the wall rather than power from the computer if you want to be able to charge the computer and power a monitor from this device. Now this is showing output 85 watts. That's not output from the computer, that's output from the hub. It can provide 85 watts of power to the laptop while it's also providing power to a monitor. I do want to encourage you to read through the comments. I have not read through the comments yet because certainly if anybody's having trouble with that, it would show up in the comments. Yeah, down there in the comments. But a couple things I wanted to point out in here, and I do think this will work for you. This was interesting. A warm tip. Extend monitor, C-port, USB-C display ports. Warm tip, video output only applicable to laptops with fully functional USB-C ports. So yeah, not all USB-C ports are going to be able to provide video output. So I know that he already knows that his laptop's USB-C port will do that. But I got intrigued with this. Warm tip, I've never heard that before. What is a warm tip? Warm tip is a term that comes from Chinese expression. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, which means gentle reminder. I did not know that. So there we got a new thing, a warm tip. All right. Turn that off. And then there's another thing in here I wanted to point out. Am I going to remember what it was? Oh, yeah. MacBook Air series only connect one display. Now, the external display he wants to use is with the Dell laptop, not the MacBook Air. But he does have a MacBook Air. So I just noticed that, thought it was worth pointing out. In this type of situation where you have very specific needs, you should read through that description really well and read through the comments really well. Unless you've got time to just buy it and try it and then return it if you don't like it. Happy birthday to Alice. I see people wishing her happy birthday. Now then, those are my thoughts there. So here comes another commercial break, so I can go change the title, insert ad. and talk about nothing too important while that ad is running. I'm looking over at Baby Beast to see if it gets triggered. Not everybody will necessarily see an ad when you trigger an ad. I don't see Baby Beast with an ad yet. Okay, then USB hubs is what we just discussed in this section. So now we go to Steve Mercure. I'll go find Steve Mercure's issue, cue that up, and I can't tell if the commercial break is over since Baby Beast didn't get a commercial during that. How am I going to tell that? I don't see anything on the YouTube studio that indicates that the ad is running. I wonder if I failed to trigger it properly, or maybe because it was in such close proximity to the other one, YouTube has decided not to do it. I don't know. Steve Mercure, this is copied from chat, I think on Saturday. No, Friday, because I created this on Friday. It says, I'm going to respectfully disagree on SFC, system file checker. In my job at school, I have fixed a couple of things, especially software failing to start. Thank you, Steve, for giving me that. Now, I have seen System File Checker claim to have fixed some things. However, I have never experienced it solving the problem that I was trying to solve. So I'm going to assume your comment here when you say, I have had it fix a couple of things, I'm going to assume that you mean it actually fixed the problem that you're having. It's not actually clear. Now, I know that you're in chat, so let me know. Steve Mercure says he did get an ad that time. Thanks for letting me know that.
Jim KJ3N said, YouTube not decide to run an ad? Inconceivable.
Well, YouTube actually tells us that. They actually have that published in their information about ads. I was kind of looking at chat to see if Steve Mercure will give me a quick answer there. John Downey says, thanks for your feedback. So is that all I want to say? The other thing that I find really frustrating about System File Checkers, a lot of times on the Microsoft Help Center, whatever they call that, it's volunteers. Anytime that they don't really know the answer, that will be included along with a bunch of other really general stuff, is run System File Checker. They don't really understand the symptom that the person is reporting or the problem that they're having. So that was about SFC. Okay, so I'm going to try this again. Trigger a commercial while I'm doing something that is not important content, and glancing at Baby Beast to see if that's showing anything. It's not. We'll go edit this for Steve Mercure. We talk about SFC usefulness. Yeah, spell it correctly, Doug. No commercial on Baby Beast. Is Baby Beast live? Yes, it is. And it is showing my non-premium account. Ghetto, Josh Kinder got an ad. Josh Living, is that ad finished with? Of course, he's not gonna hear me say that if he still has the ad running. Then Martin Hogg. Martin Hogg asked a question in the chat room today. So let's go grab that. And then we'll get to the Brian Lightfoot segment. Martin, let's see, I'm going to do a Control F and search for Martin. Yeah, here's what he says. How to cuss, let's see, get this right. I don't want it that way. If I do that, no, I don't like that. So I don't want to highlight that. If I'm going to use arrow, no, it does highlight it no matter what. If I turn on down here, okay, here, this way I can do it. Martin Hogg had a customer who couldn't install a new HP printer. Got error, couldn't connect. I connected to the router admin and found that 2.4 channel was switched off. Switched it on and all is okay. Is this normal? Absolutely. Excuse me. What it implies is that the printer only supports wireless 2.4, or the printer actually has that Wi-Fi channel turned off. If you go into the settings for the printer on the button panel, you should be able to get into network settings and see if the 5 gigahertz channel is actually turned off. If it's an older printer, it may not have ever had a 5 gigahertz channel. I have very rarely, if ever, experienced this. So I would say that it's not common. But a lot of times I don't even try to connect a printer to Wi-Fi. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with that. But I'm not surprised at all. That was a good solution and an absolutely sensible direction to go. Congratulations, Martin Hogg. On behalf of your customer/client, I will award you 12,500 points. Points are redeemable for valuable prizes and gifts and awards that are totally fictional and virtual. And in order to get one of them, you have to comply with all of the requirements from the document that never gets written or published. So I think I've finished that. And then I will try, whoops, got to turn that off before I can get over this tab. Since I'm going to go change the title again. I'm going to try inserting another ad, go change the title to Martin Hogg, and this would be printer Wi-Fi. And WD is for Windows Daily, so then the subject, and it's helpline number 498. So I'm going to try out that method of naming videos and see where that gets us, or gets me, because you don't care if my channel grows. I'm kidding. So then, if there's anything specific in chat that you want to direct my attention to, if somebody asks a question in chat and I haven't seen it, please put an exclamation mark C and then put their name after that or the time indicator. All you need is to put the time after the colon. If you don't currently see the timestamps on your computer, just click the 3-dot menu in the upper right corner and turn timestamps on. Take a quick run through trying to catch things. Oh, let's see. Oh, the Brian Lightfoot segment. That's right, the Brian Lightfoot segment. So let me do Control F, go to Brian. And let's see, Dougie was a chemist, but Dougie is no more. What Dougie thought was H2O was H2SO4. I actually never took chemistry. I know the periodic table of elements and all that. I know it exists, but I've never memorized it. What is H2 is the chemical formula for sulfuric acid, a strong corrosive acidic comment. Okay, so wow, what you're saying is what I thought was water. I do know H2O is water. Was actually sulfuric acid. That's in batteries, right? I know Steve already had that answered. What WD means. Doug will never get this. There is a woman on a boat, on a lake, wearing a coat. What's her name? There's a woman on a boat, on a lake, wearing a coat. What's her name? Oh, I got ideas floating around in my head how I should be able to figure this out without going to Google it or ChatGPT. Woman on a boat on a lake. I'm going to have to give that one to you, Brian. You got me stumped. So then, to show people one of the many ways to go figure out something like that, and just to show doing Copilot, explain this joke, and then Control V paste. I'm not bothering putting quotes around. Whoops, I'm hiding that from you. And then if I can go pop this out with this here, open it in a new tab. Does it still? Oh, it didn't keep my thing. All right, I got to type it again. Explain this joke to me. and Control V, paste. See what Copilot says. Do 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 do. Come along. I'm seeing some comments. This would be your actual first comment? Geez, not in. Catherine says not important anyway. Don't know what you're referring to there. Did this says stop responding? So it's still trying. It's still trying to figure it out.
Read chat, please.
Did I? Yeah, I pressed enter. I'll try it again.
Did you press enter?
I did. See, there's no, the paper airplane is not available and it says stop responding. It's trying to respond right now. Maybe it's because I didn't give it quotes. It's still trying. I'm going to try a new topic and put quotes around it. See if that helps it. Oh, there's no paper airplane. No, something's not working right there. Oh, because I guess I gotta stop it from trying to do that one. It says canceling right now. Brian just killed AI. Yeah, you did. If there's any questions, technical questions in chat, please put an exclamation mark C and give me the name of the person or a time increment. Yeah, that's not working. That's not working. Chat GPT.
Brian Lightfoot said, there. Everything will be okay.
Chat GPT, let's see how quickly it comes up with it. And then Control V, paste, explain this joke to me. Is chat GPT, yeah, it comes up right away. See this? Play on words, rhyming sounds. Said it mentions woman on boat on a lake wearing a coat. The punchline is hinted at through the rhyme scheme, which suggested that her name should rhyme with boat, lake, or coat. The answer is like a Kate or Kate. As these names rhyme with lake, the humor comes from the wordplay in the unexpected way. The riddle leads you to name based on the sound rather than logic. I was not going to get that at all. Was that right?
Brian Lightfoot said wrong.
Wrong. I'm not surprised if that's wrong. Give me another explanation. Explain AI?
Ken Stout Live said you still did not get it.
No, I don't think that was it. So not only did you stump me, Brian, you stumped Copilot and you stumped Chat GPT. Congratulations.
Brian Lightfoot said, her name is right there in front of you.
Okay, her name is right there in front of you. I like that clue. I'm doing alt tabs and getting nowhere really quick. Here, let's get back to here. The name is right in front of me. Doug will never get this. There's a woman on a boat, on a lake, wearing a coat. The name's right in front of me. Is that what he said? I'm going to move on to the next one. Her name is right there in front of you. There's something about it. Rand Israel is thinking it's Teresa. Theresa. Is that it? Wow, if that's it, that is really obscure. I don't think that's right. Sin Vicious is guessing Daisy. There's something in here that is her name. Wearing a coat.
Brian Lightfoot said, time has expired.
All
Her
right.
name is there.
The name is there. There. There's there apostrophe S. Her name is there. There, like Cynthia's a woman on a boat, on a lake, wearing a coat. Or Janet's a woman on a boat, on a lake, wearing a coat. There's a woman on a boat, on a lake, wearing a coat. Brian, give me an exclamation mark. Why?
Ran Israel said, there is a woman on a boat.
Yeah, he puts quotes around the word there. meaning that is her name. Yep, that's it.
Brian Lightfoot said Doug is a man. There is a woman.
Doug is a man, there is a woman. Is that related to that joke? WD40 is the channel name. No. Did I only get one joke from Brian? He's usually got two for us in the Brian Lightfoot segment. He knew that one was going to be tough, right? Oh, no, this was the first one. That was the first one. This was the second one. Yep. They're usually separated by somebody else's chat. I don't know how you arrange that. You always seem to have one other person between. And it is 9:31. So that'll be a wrap back here. And no, I'm not going to wrap. Not that kind of wrap. You can watch this video to see how to get free support through this YouTube channel. This video see how to get paid support from me directly in private sessions. This video shows how to improve your troubleshooting and Windows issue resolutions by interacting with this channel. This is a recent video on my channel. Have a great week, a great Monday, everybody. I will catch you later. Goodbye.